What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Panthers Advice. Today, man, we're going to talk about the defense. And honestly, man, I was looking for something positive, and I got to say, there's not a lot out there. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the depth chart. Was there any changes? A couple small ones, right? And we're talking about Dave Canales, what he said about the whole rookie thing, starting them, not starting them, letting Evero do his thing, man. Let's get into this thing. We're going to kick it off, listen to Dave Canales talk about the whole Evero situation, all right?
We're going to push the defensive staff to maybe look at some younger guys. Did you have that conversation, and what came out of it?
Yeah, I was honestly just addressing a question. Our staff knows, we all know here, we are developmentally.
Obviously, Dave is going to give you a PR answer. I guess he slipped up a couple of days ago, but obviously he's back, to PR Dave. And I get it, right? You don't want to blow things up internally. I just hope we see changes, right? Because last year, week 2, we saw changes. And, it is what it is. But I don't want to see Princely start one half and Nick start another half. And here's why. Those are two different pass rushers. Let's go full cam real quick. Those are two different pass rushers by far. If you watch them both play, two different pass rushers. If I'm Evero, if I'm the assistant defensive line coach, assistant linebackers coach, I'm watching the tackles, right? I'm watching the right tackle. I'm watching the left tackle. Nick, he's going to push right through you. Nick's got a high motor. He's got some strength. While Princely, he's got a little bit more in his bag. So when I'm watching the tackles, right, and I'm watching them once the ball is snapped, I'm like, okay, I want to put Princely here. I want to put Nick here. Not this whole thing of you get one half and you get one half. Same thing with the safeties, which we're going to look at in a second. Nick Scott, I think he can play, but I don't know that he's an every down safety for the Carolina Panthers, right? Especially if he can't score. I don't know that he's an every down safety. So I think sometimes Damani Richardson could provide an impact in certain downs. I think sometimes Lathan Ransom, all right, could do the same thing. That's what I hope to see from the defense. That's the change I hope to see. Because right now we're not seeing it. There's no reason we can't plug and play certain guys based on the looks that the offense is giving us. I get it, Evero, very respected guy around the league when it comes to defensive coordinator. But at some point we got to make changes. I get it. He wants to keep the veterans in. Then what's the point of trading up for the rookies, right? Because most coaches nowadays, all right, they're on a 2 to 3 year contract, right? If you don't produce in 2 to 3 years, you're gone. And where I'm going is, why even trade up for a rookie then? Right? I think they traded up for Princely in the 3rd round, if I'm not mistaken. What's the point if you're not going to play him for the first year or two? You get where I'm going? Right? You have a 2 to 3 year lifespan. And given the past 2 years, it's not looking good. But let's keep it going though, man.
And that's our philosophy, whether that goes with our staff, raising and teaching our staff, or whether that's with all of our players. You get 46 guys on game day. 3 of them are special teamers. You got 43. These guys all have to play at some point, and so I was really just kind of talking about that. Like, these are the guys. They're all going to have to play at some point, and just continuing to pour into them because the opportunities, here we go. We have an opportunity now. Turk Wharton all of a sudden is not here. Now Jaden Crumedy has to play a bigger role, and that's kind of what I was alluding to, and just giving a little bit of reference and background.
I'm not going to fault Dave too much, but you saw what happened last year. And if you want these rookies to produce more come next year, they have to play this year, learn, and get better. They're not just going to start their 2nd year and just everything's going to click. No, they have to put themselves through certain situations and learn from them. Let's keep it going, though. So right here, Dean Jones, Panthers roster move sends a brutal message to struggling veteran. Let's take a look right here. Carolina Panthers send subtle warning to Nick Scott. So essentially, the Panthers signed, all right, a defensive tackle to come in for Tershawn Wharton, right, potentially. And they also signed a safety. Here's my thing with this real quick, all right, before we jump to the film and look at the defense. You've got Damani Richardson, and you didn't even play him a single snap. So, I mean, yes, I guess they sign a safety, potentially puts Nick Scott, on that free agent block, potentially, but in the end, I doubt it, right? Nick Scott is Evero's guy. Who's Dave's guy? Mr. David Moore. So when it's all said and done, man, I don't know that Nick Scott's going to go anywhere. And if we look at the defense, let's just jump into this thing, man. So the first play we're going to look at right here, let's take a look what happens. All right, single back play action. And remember this play. Nothing special, but just remember it. First quarter, almost 5 minutes into the game. All right, single back play action. What to watch right here is Roseboom. All right, so it looks like a match coverage if you take a look right here, because Trayvon is giving him inside release, expecting help from Roseboom right there. Same thing with JC Horn, right? He's expecting help from Trevin Wallace. Let the play develop. Roseboom decides to run a little bit too late with the tight end, and take a look what happens. I mean, easy money right there, right? Easy money right there. And just remember this play. I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's going to come back. Next play we're going to look at right here. It's 2nd and 6. Play action once again. What was the first play? Play action we looked at, right? Second quarter we look at. Easy touchdown right here. I mean, nobody's even on the tight end. Nobody's even on the tight end. And there's 2 things to look at on this freeze frame alone. I got lucky when I paused it right here. I'm not going to lie to you. Look at Roseboom. Look at Mike Jackson. Like I said, I wanted to be positive today. I did. But you can see right here, we're pointing to Brian Thomas Jr. All right, it looks like Nick Scott's potentially going to come down on that. But no, where's Nick Scott going? He's going over here to pick up the tight end. Why is he picking up the tight end? All right, take a look what happens right here. Roseboom is telling Trevin Wallace, hey, you got to pick him up, right? JC Horn, he's going to pick up that outside receiver, right? Nobody else is on this side. So JC Horn is going to man him up right there. Same thing Mike J would do, right? If I think Brian Thomas over here went to the left. All right. Logic applies right here too. Roseboom's going to tell Trevin, all right, you got to pick him up. Match coverage right here. Trevin doesn't even see him go right over the top. You see how frustrating it is? Because we actually have communication, right? If Brian Thomas goes right here, Nick Scott's going to play that. Nick Scott's going to do his job right there. But you let the tight end on basically, I don't know, a shallow cross right here, a drag route, whatever you want to call it. Just walk right in. And then we look at DJ Johnson right here. I mean, take a look what happens. I don't even know what he's doing. I really don't. He blows contain. Trevor Lawrence rolls out. And it's easy money. Not that Trevor Lawrence wasn't going to score anyway, but you can't give him that much room. Let's take a look at play number 3 right here. And as we keep the drive going, remember, it's 42 seconds, now 29. And what are the Jags doing? They're exposing the Panthers, all right? Because this is what the Panthers would do. Start off and potentially cover 2 high. Might be a cover 4 look. I mean, you see how far the DBs are playing back. Could be cover 3. The majority of the time, it was a cover 3. And it was more of a cover 3 robber where you got the safety right here. He's kind of lurking. And that's what they did all game. From the first quarter to the fourth quarter, that's what they did. The safety really doesn't come up, right? He's waiting to see, is it going to be a post right here, bang, a crosser over here. That's essentially what Evero had the safety doing, was waiting to play that. So the Jaguars saw that, so like, okay, cover 3 look right here. He's going to play the flat. He's going to play that deep third. He's going to wait for that crosser, right? He's going to wait for that post. He's going to wait for that dig, whatever it might be, right? What that tells the Jaguars is this is going to be money every single time. As long as we take, all right, that backer, push him over here, this is going to be money every single time. And if you think I'm joking, all right, let's jump to the next one real quick. So this play cracks me up, okay, because we played prevent defense with 42 seconds left. So I'm like, okay, now we're going to tighten things up a little bit because they have the ball on what the Panthers 48. You don't want them to get 10, 15 yards right here. You don't want to put them in field goal range. Let me direct your attention to right here. Let me direct your attention over here. All right, let's take a look what happens on the left side of the field right here. Come on, man. Come on, man. Are we serious? All right, DJ Wanham would eventually get off the block right there. But let's count real quick, all right? Ball snapped. 1, 2, 3. About 4 seconds. You overload that left side. So you got DJ Wanham coming in. You got A'Shawn Robinson. You got Trayvon. And you got JC Horn. The Panthers couldn't stop 4 people with a 5-man, 6-man protection. And what I talked about before, Panthers once again in that cover 3 look. This time they're going to bring that safety down. Cover 3 look, though, still applies right here. Deep third, and deep third. If we take, the safety deep right here, he's going to travel. All right. So take a look what happens right here. Trevor Lawrence is going to get it. He's going to drop back. Bang. So take a look right here. This safety is going to carry, all right, with the slot receiver. That's exactly what the Jaguars want. Because what's going to happen next? All this receiver has to do is stop on a dime, come this way, and it's open. Why? Run it back real quick. Take a look. Bang. You're going to carry that safety right there. Remember what I said before, right? He was waiting on a cross or a post. This time you put him over there. Now he's waiting on that go route. He's going to travel with that. Receiver stops on a dime, and that's open. Why? Because you have that outside cornerback playing that deep third over there. This is just bad all the way around because you go from playing prevent defense to overloading that left side, giving Trevor Lawrence 4 seconds with the blitz. It's just not a good look. All right, I can't slack Evero too much for this because Trayvon, all right, he's supposed to loop back outside here. Watch Ashawn Robinson. All right, he's going to plug here. Bang. Trayvon's supposed to loop back right here and potentially get pressure, right? But he kind of trips up. Bang. They do a good job rotating, as you're going to see right there. Center's going to pass him off, and then he picks up Trayvon. It's just frustrating, man, because it feels like it's just one thing after another, and they're just simple mistakes, right? Jaguars see what the Panthers are doing, and then capitalizing every single time. I really hope we win this week, or at least I really hope there's something to be positive about, because this game against the Jags, while it was week 1, the zone coverage was terrible. The blitz was terrible. The offense, terrible. All right. I hope next week that we have something to look forward to. All right. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy. Panthers Devices out. Peace.